Give me 5 minutes and I'll teach you how to connect with anyone. I've worked with over 100 professionals from the United States and international. And it wasn't the people that were the smartest that got the job, that got the investment, that got the connection. It was simply the person that was likable. And I'm not talking about charismatic likable. I'm talking about that they had certain way of showing and presenting themselves to the world that got them the influence that they were looking for. So I will cover 5 key components of likability. Number 1, body language is everything. It's how you present yourself in your body. Are you tight in your shoulders? Are you hunched over? Are you frowning? Did you know that 70% of communication is nonverbal? And that means you communicate with your body. Not just what you wear. A lot of people think that they need to get facelifts or Botox or wear the most expensive clothes. No. What energy do you have in your body? Are you relaxed? Are you nervous? Guess what? If you're nervous, the other person is nervous also, and it's difficult to close the deal. It's difficult to do the sale. Are you open? When you're speaking, are you smiling? Now, it's uncomfortable for some of us that in parts of the world are not used to smiling when we meet people. But it's something you can learn. So, body language is everything. Number 2, we forget this. Genuine compliments. Have you given somebody a compliment? I like your shoes. I love what you just said. It's so amazing that you were able to achieve this in your life. Wow, I'm so amazed at this story that you're sharing. Now, I've heard people say that it's unnatural to give a compliment. It's only unnatural because you probably didn't receive one as a child. I didn't receive too many. This is why I like to give compliments. Well, number 3, showing gratitude. This came later in life. Being grateful for that person's presence, for that person's help, for that person to share the knowledge with you, to share the business, to share the contact. Telling people, I'm grateful for this information. Thank you so much for your time. I'm really grateful for this opportunity. And then telling yourself that not in front of the person. I spend a lot of mornings and evenings just in prayer and meditation and being grateful that I'm alive and being grateful that I get to do YouTube, that I get to have my students and have a community on school where I teach communication training, and just being grateful that I live in Spain and I have a roommate. Those are her pictures from childhood. And I get to look at them and I go, that's a pretty cool girl. And I get to see parts of her life. I'm grateful that I get to drink my coffee from a beautiful cup. So, gratitude is everything. It's a different frequency and vibration. It's a different way to access your consciousness. And your brain waves change when you pray and meditate. By the way, look it up. Number 4, asking open-ended question. If you are the smartest person in the room, you make statements. If you are the smartest person in the room, meaning the one that asks open-ended questions, that person will get you social connections. A good open-ended question is, what do you enjoy on the weekends? Where would you like to be in the next 6 months? Any kind of question that invites curiosity. What's your favorite book that you've read, this week? You can do that. You can also focus on experiences and dreams. Have you considered living in Europe? What would it feel like for you if you moved to Spain? Describe that. Sharing perspectives and ideas. Have you considered this idea? Have you thought about this perspective? I do that a lot in teaching because then the person thinks and questions drive the cognition. People connect through meaning and information. Let's say you're on a sales call and you want to invite an idea of transformation. Well, before you can actually guide people towards transformation, it needs to mean something. What would it mean if I can have my apartment by the sea in 6 months? Well, what it would mean is that I would be able to write more books. I would be able to be inspired to create more videos. It would mean something. It would mean as I would get to be more creative. And then since it has meaning, then I want to go there, right? And so I can be guided towards that transformation because It's not just about having an emotional connection, but it has to mean something in the context of my life and your life. Now, this is one of my favorite, which is the hardest to do, is staying positive. Staying in that frequency, in that thought, in that mindset, in that energy of where you want to go. So that is surrounding yourself with positive people, people who are hardworking, who are transformative, people who encourage optimism and enthusiasm in your life. They assume positive intent, and people remember not what you say, but how you made them feel. And here's the kicker, here's the missing piece. We didn't talk about this enough, and it's absolutely important. Active listening. When you practice word for word what the other person has said, you create psychological safety, you create trust, you create engagement, you check the communication, and you're both starting from the same foundation of understanding the information. If you're speaking, if somebody's talking to you, we do this a lot. We are creating assumptions, we're paraphrasing, and then we're responding from paraphrasing. That's not communication. I remember I was working for a billionaire in Miami, and I came from media and communication, and he told me, you don't know how to control your communication. You do not know how to communicate. And I'm like, what? What? Well, of course I didn't know how to communicate because I couldn't repeat word for word what he had said. Therefore, I did not understand the information. Therefore, I couldn't ask better questions, and I didn't get the outcomes that I was looking for. With active listening, you can ensure that there is no miscommunication and you could get the outcome that you're looking for. Now, with the way that society's headed with ChatGPT, we need to be quick in our communication. Text communication, voice communication. Okay, so how do you know what the person is thinking and feeling in their body? You don't see the person. How do you know that you have effective communication? So wouldn't it be smarter just to get on a video call just to experience that person? I know it's a lot harder to do, but we can practice that. The biggest lesson is it isn't to get people to like you, it is to get people to understand you and to be able to connect with you. Of course, I started with this video saying, how do we get somebody to like you in 5 minutes? And now we're doing 8 minutes, so we're just extending it. Well, you want to be liked and you also want to be remembered. And that takes skill, okay? It's not just enough your looks. And it's not just enough what you say. When you practice these 5 skills and active listening, you will get the authority and the impact that you're looking for. You will be memorable and people will like you. The next time that you meet someone, observe their body language, give one genuine compliment, ask one thoughtful question that's open-ended, listen longer than what feels comfortable, repeating word for word what the person said, and express genuine appreciation, which is the gratitude. We end each episode with do the best that you can every day and drink your coffee.